Your electricity bill went up. Not because you used more, because of an auction you have never heard of, and artificial intelligence won it. There is a market most Americans have never been told about. It is called PJM, and it coordinates wholesale electricity for more than 67 million people across 13 states and Washington, D.C. Every year, PJM runs an auction. It is not an auction for electricity. It is an auction for the promise of electricity, a payment made to power plants for agreeing to exist and to be available 3 years from now, on the worst day of the year. That promise has a price, and every household inside PJM pays a share of it. For most of the last decade, that promise was cheap. In the auction for the 2024 delivery year, capacity cleared at $28.92 per megawatt day. 1 year later, $269.92, nearly a tenfold increase in a single auction. The year after that, $329.17, the highest price in PJM's history, and not because that was what the market wanted. That was the ceiling. The auction hit the maximum price regulators would allow. Then it did it again. And the third time, it stayed there. So who moved the price? PJM does not answer that question. Its independent market monitor does. A separate firm, Monitoring Analytics, paid to audit the market and report what it finds. In July of 2026, it published the arithmetic. The most recent auction billed $16.4 billion. Of that, $6.3 billion was attributable to data centers, 38% from one class of customer. Go back 4 auctions, and the pattern hardens. $29.4 billion in data center-driven capacity charges out of $63.6 billion in total, 46%. Almost half of everything the region paid to keep the lights on. Here is the mechanism, and it is the whole story. Capacity costs are not billed to whoever caused them. They are allocated across load-serving entities, the utilities, and utilities recover them from everyone connected to the wire. A data center triggers the charge. A household absorbs a slice of it. In Washington, D.C., Pepco raised residential supply charges by about $20.81 a month, 17.7%, and listed, among its reasons, rising demand from new, high-usage regional data centers. Nobody hid this. It was in the rate filing. Almost nobody reads rate filings. Now, widen the frame. Lawrence Berkeley National Laboratory found American data centers used about 4.4% of the country's electricity in 2023. By 2028, its range runs from 6.7% to 12%. Inside PJM alone, data centers could need more than 50 gigawatts of peak capacity by 2030, enough to power more than 20 million households. Roughly every home in New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Ohio, Virginia, and Maryland combined. The Natural Resources Defense Council modeled what that does to capacity bills through 2033. $163 billion. A more conservative estimate puts it near $100 billion. Either way, it is a number with your name somewhere inside it. Which brings us to this month. The auction for the 2028 delivery year cleared in July. It hit the cap again, $325 per megawatt day for $16.4 billion. And it came up 6.8 gigawatts short of PJM's own reserve target. New supply that cleared, about 525 megawatts, against a shortfall of 6,800. Remove the price cap, and the market monitor's arithmetic says the same auction clears at $555, 777 in northern Illinois for $29.7 billion. The cap is not fixing this. It is hiding the size of it. On July 27, 2026, PJM's board moved. It proposed a one-time backstop auction, running from the end of September into October to buy the missing capacity. 15-year commitments, resources required online by June of 2032, and a price cap of $555, the number the market wanted all along. Alongside it, something new. An interim framework under which large new loads that do not bring or contract their own power must cut consumption or switch to their own backup when the grid nears emergency conditions. The board's stated principle was blunt. Existing consumers should not bear higher capacity costs caused by new large loads. But there is a serious argument on the other side, and it deserves the airtime. A working paper from the Electric Power Research Institute, published this month, found the opposite of what everyone assumes. Historically, every doubling of data center capacity was associated with average retail electricity prices falling, about 3.5% nationally, 6% within the state. The logic is unglamorous and correct. The grid's fixed costs get divided across more kilowatt hours, so each one gets cheaper. Data centers on this reading are not a tax, they are a bulk customer, which would be reassuring, except for what the same researchers said next. Spreading fixed costs works while the demand shows up. If the capacity gets built and the load never arrives, the same arithmetic runs backwards. The same fixed costs divided among fewer people. That is, the trade sitting inside the backstop auction. 15-year commitments. Plants due online in 2032, underwritten by demand forecasts from an industry that revises its own capital plans every quarter. And the referee is not comfortable either. On July 24th, the chair of the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission gave PJM until the 30th of September to reform itself or have reform imposed. Her words. PJM is facing a grave legitimacy crisis. Some transmission owners, she noted, are openly discussing leaving. So, follow the money. Plainly. Who pays? 67 million people, through a line item on a bill that never names the reason. Who collects? The owners of power plants that clear the auction, paid to be available on a day that may never come. Who loses? Households now, and possibly the data centers next, if the curtailment rules survive the regulator. This was never a story about whether artificial intelligence is good. It is a story about who was in the room when the bill was allocated. Nobody voted on this auction. It just settled, and then it arrived. The next auction opens on the 30th of September. 15-year commitments, $555 a megawatt day, and a FERC deadline landing on the same date. Whatever clears there is already on a bill somebody will open in 3 years without knowing why. If you want the rest of the machinery, who is lending, who is guaranteeing, and who is holding the paper when it turns? That is what this channel does. Every number in this video has a source in the description. Follow the compute.